Hello everyone, hope everyone had a good weekend. I know this is again a spur of the moment live, but I just kind of have to do them when I do them. Hey Scotty, how are you? You're kind of up late, huh? Again, you know me, nothing really prepared, but I just kind of, like I said, go live when I notice certain things or I have the time, and just try to move forward in the truth about these some of these cases. So oh, it's almost midnight. Yeah, okay, then yeah, you're up late. It might just be me and you tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But I know there's some other lives going on. And I'm using OBS for this again and not Streamlabs. Or not Streamlabs. StreamYard. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, Perp. Boy, I could always do trivia questions like I do on D Live as I wait for people to show up. No, I'm not going to do that. I could do true crime trivia questions. Actually, there were a couple actually that I've asked so far. Like, I think it was a Boston Strangler question that I asked on D Live, but he said trivia go. Okay, I'll pick a trivia question. I have to find one first because I'm not prepared. Thank you very much, Scotty. Maybe I'll find a murder one. Or one at all. Okay, here's for you alcoholics out there. What percentage of alcohol constitutes 100 proof whiskey? What percentage of alcohol constitutes 100 proof whiskey? %. Yep. Good job. Very nice. How come you never do that well on D Live when I do these? Just kidding. Hey, Hope for Peace. Thanks for being here. Where would you arrive by going second to the right and straight on till morning? Oh, because of the delay. The delay, I should say, not the delay. The delay. There isn't a delay. Well, a slight one. There's always going to be somewhat of a delay. Thank you, Purple. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm surprised I actually still kept it up, but you know what? I refuse to like I said, sugarcoat things any longer. Should I ask that question again? Did I only ask it once? Where would you arrive by going second to the right and straight on till morning? No answers? No answers? Must be a really long delay. You had to look it up? Yeah, that doesn't count. At least you admitted it. It would be Never Never Land. It's from Peter Pan. That was a tough one, wasn't it? I don't want to do another Disney question. Disney's very Masonic anyways. How many colors are there in a rainbow? How many colors are there in a rainbow? And yes, he was a 33-degree Freemason. Not 6, not 5. Correct answer is 7. 7 colors in the rainbow. Okay, so we're not going to turn this into trivia night because I know how that goes. So I want to talk a little bit about the Summer Wells case, if anybody wants to fill me in on that. But as far as I can see, it's a big old, I hate to say it, but a big old clusterfuck. There's a lot going on. You got the parents. Hey Tammy, you got the parents of Summer doing interviews with channel creators on YouTube. It doesn't seem like they're doing what you should be doing. Like, I understand if you want to try to find your child, but, and again, I haven't watched them all fully. I've only kind of just panned through some of it, but to be honest, I don't even want to take the time out of my life to, and this might sound terrible, but to really watch all this social media stuff that's going on with this case, because to me it's all a distraction, and it's there's a lot of red flags already. Let's just say that. I'm not gonna come to any conclusions already. I might have came to a conclusion in my last live stream about it, but I probably shouldn't do that because it is still early. However, a lot of stuff is not adding up, and there's no tears from anybody. I might play a couple clips that I did save to my Summer Wells playlist, but again, why is it that some missing person or child and homicide cases get so much more mainstream media attention than others? Doesn't matter if they're it's the good looking white picket fence family like the Watts, or if it's the I hate to say it, but the family like Summer Wells family. But for whatever reason, even though there's a lot of missing children out there, and I'm talking a lot, and there's a lot of homicide cases out there, Why is it that some of these cases specifically only get so much, social media attention? And not some, but a ton. And especially in the true crime community on social media. And I'm already seeing symbolism in there. If you're not familiar with RV Truth, I mentioned him a lot on my channel. He goes over the symbolism that they put in plain sight in these orchestrated events, not the true crime cases, but more the, political orchestrated events, terrorist attacks, and school shootings. Because honestly, I don't think a lot of people are aware that they're orchestrating some of these high-profile true crime cases. Again, I didn't even know that they were until I came across, by accident, the Watts case. So, but I've seen butterfly symbolism. Now, of course, the butterfly can represent, being free or whatever, just spiritual, I guess. I'm not really sure. But when I see butterflies a lot in cases that don't add up and there's a lot of red flags, I immediately think MK Ultra, occult symbolism. You also have, back to RV Truth, there's a video that he made, one of his more recent videos. It's a little bit older now, but I did put a clip of it in one of my videos that I made recently. But he brings up the bat symbolism or the Batman symbolism. For instance, he's talking about in the video, he's talking about how he shows a picture of I can't believe if it was the friend or the one that died in the Capitol riot, but she's wearing for Halloween, a female version of a Batman costume. And you have also black and yellow, which is occult colors. In the Watts case, you have the Steelers, which are black and yellow. You have several Bumblebee and Wasp references and cult references, especially in American Horror Story. There was wasps on the neighbor's security camera, and that's why they, go figure, they didn't catch anything on his security camera because there was a ton of wasps covering the lens, right? Then you have Jeremy Lindstrom that mentions when he was driving home after he heard what had happened that the song Black and Yellow came on. Why that would make him upset or sad or whatever, I don't know why, but he mentions it. So it's that consistent patterns, and also the fact that I'm not the only one that's pointing this symbolism out in, I'm not the only channel creator that's doing it. There's others as well. I just so happen to be the only one in the true crime community that's doing it. And I brought up the bat symbolism because, and you know what, I'll go ahead and show you. I won't even play the clip, I'll just show it to you. Except I gotta remember where the, Summer Wells is wearing a Batman pajama outfit, or there's a bat on it. And then I will show you a clip. Hey, Chris. Hey, Sophia. Let me pull up my Summer Wells little mini playlist here. It'll be easier to do because I'm on OBS. And yeah, a lot of people are covering the case. Hope for Peace. It's crazy. Hey, Pride or Honesty. Oh, I'm your girlfriend, Chris? Oh, was I gonna be aware of this at any time? Or was I just going to be left in the dark about it? Yeah, and that's weird too. Scotty, that you mentioned that, because it reminds me of Bella. It reminds me of, they didn't put like male clothes on Bella, but of course you have the short hair. Shanann keeping Bella's hair so short, and a lot of people sometimes thinking that she might possibly be a boy. Now, be a boy? Am I saying that? No, but it to me it is kind of strange. Like, for instance, myself, when I was little, I had shorter hair, but I had really thin, super fine hair. And I was, like, bald till I was, like, 3. So, I mean, so it is possible. But I think that Shanann even mentioned somewhere that she kept or cut Bella's hair short for a reason. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure. But in all the pictures that I'm seeing, not all of them, but a lot of the pictures that I'm seeing of Summer Wells, they are treating her like she's a boy, like almost completely shaved head. And then I've seen it even really short, and then above her shoulders still. But yeah, so she's wearing a Batman shirt, butterfly wreath. I think it's the school teacher from Sabbath. Look up the definition of Sabbath. Yes, is it a religious like word? Yes, that's the first definition. But if you look at the second definition, it's pretty interesting. Talks about witches and warlocks or something coming together for some sort of ritual. Very interesting. I don't know why they would call it a Sabbath church. Again, I'm not realistic. I'm not realistic. Well, I'm not realistic. No, I'm not religious. I don't know why I have realistic on the brain. I'm not a realistic religious. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me get the video. So it's when the sheriff, I think it's the sheriff who's been covering the case, he talks, but let me see here. Oh, look it. What do you know? The shooter who murdered my son carried an AR-15 assault rifle into Mandy Brook Elementary. So now they have advertisements to push gun control. How crazy is that? Okay, so I muted it, so we don't want to hear that propaganda being pushed. "26 people in 4 minutes. That's some sharp shooting. I'll tell you what. Oh, I guess I can skip. Sorry. Okay.
Breaking news at 6, day 9 in the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells.
Hold on, let me, it's a little blurry. We'll at least give you guys 480. I could do that.
And investigate.
Oh, do you think that her hair is natural blonde? Just curious.
They say they are heartbroken and extremely frustrated as the case is taking longer than usual to resolve. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Sarah Diamond.
I'm Josh Smith. Take a look at some new photos of Summer Wells that we obtained today. Summer's mother shared these with us. In a news briefing late this afternoon, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said the search for Summer is, quote, definitely outside the norm when it comes to the standard amount of time for a missing persons case like this.
Typically, in an investigation...
How long do you think it takes her to put her makeup on each morning, too? Just curious. Look, Les lie. Les lie. You can't see my mouse, but Les lie. And there could be a significance or symbolism that has to do with this ear heart, I heard, but I haven't had a chance to look it up yet. So.
Like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear.
News Channel 11's John Janko was at today's news briefing. John, are investigators hopeful at this point that they will find Summer?
Sarah and Josh, while search teams and investigators are physically and mentally exhausted, I can tell you that they all remain hopeful. Leslie, at this point in the search and investigation, do you believe Summer Wells is still alive?
We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know. I mean, we're holding out hope, doing everything we can. Obviously, we typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just don't know.
Okay, that's not the one I was looking for. Sorry. Okay, which one is it? Oh, can somebody tell me who that is? In the hold on. I hate when it does that. They should change that. Next to Chad Daybell there, is that the son? I forget his name. But when I saw that, I'm like, is that Summer Wells? I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. It's possible that I'm tripping, but I would need to take a screenshot of it and put it next or overlay it with Summer Wells. But again, I could be tripping. But I was just curious who that was. I'm assuming that's the son that died, right? Or that was murdered. Well, I'll come to it eventually. We'll just go through this whole playlist. It's not a large playlist, but
It has now been 6 weeks since Summer Wells was last seen at her Hawkins County home, and after almost 1,100 tips, still no sign of.
this worries me too. Community member speaks up against social media rumors regarding Summer Wells' case. So there seems to be some sort of issue with, I guess, people on social media making up rumors about the case, talking about the family, making stuff up, whatever the case may be. That worries me because that could be possibly an attempt to go after our free speech by saying that, people are hindering an investigation by making stuff up on social media. But again, it's too early to tell, but we shall see how it unfolds.
Last night, dozens bowed their heads praying for the safe return of Summer. One woman who attended said she felt compelled to do so because she regrets believing rumors circulating on social media regarding the case.
It's about Summer Wells. It's about finding that.
And you guys can't hear anything because I didn't have the desktop audio on. I'm sorry. Worst streamer ever. Can we start over? I'm going to end this one and we'll go ahead and start over.
Baby. And that's what brought me here. I just don't want to listen to social media no more. It's basically tore me up.
The Amber Alert.
So don't listen to social media anymore. What's the big deal? That's what's great about social media. Nobody's taping your eyes open. Nobody's forcing you to watch this content or any content. If you don't like it, turn it off. Don't listen to it. Think for yourself. Do your own research.
Wells issued by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation remains active. The TBI says they have received just under 1,100 tips in the case, but have yet to get a solid lead on where Summer may be.
Hey, Sweet Pea.
Earlier in the day, Summer Wells' parents, they appeared in juvenile court. Summer's mother confirmed off camera that her sons are in the custody of the Department of Child Protective Services. Summer may be. So earlier in the day, Summer Wells' parents, they appeared in juvenile court. Summer's mother confirmed off camera that her sons are in the custody of the Department of Child Protective Services. She did not want to share why her other children were removed from the home. Summer's father, Don Wells, says the other children are safer now, but did not elaborate. Summer's mom says
I wonder what that's about. I don't know. Alright, where's my playlist again here? Cynthia with an S? Yeah, that's kind of weird too, huh? You know how people are always trying to be different though, right? I've seen my name spelled with so many different variations, it's ridiculous. Okay, where this dude... I already played that one. Or did I play this one? Online rumors making search for 5-year-old Summer Wells more difficult. How would that make it more difficult? I don't know how that would make it more difficult. I don't know which one it was. I think I've played this one already. Chris is like, I take it back. She's not my girlfriend. She doesn't even know how to stream. And this is why I hate YouTube.
Five-year-old Summer Wells.
it has been exactly 1 month since she was last seen at her home in Hawkins County in East Tennessee. News Channel 5's Cole Johnson joins us live at the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation headquarters where work is ongoing. Cole, there's really been an enormous and exhaustive search to find this little girl.
Good morning to you both. The Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson says just between his patrol says nothing is ruled out.
Right now, everything is still on the tape.
Here we go. So if you look here, clearly to me, I don't know, I could be wrong, but that looks like Batman. Am I wrong? Or is that a Batman teddy bear? I'll wait. It's kind of hard to see here. I will zoom in for you. Mess up my whole setup, but I'll do it. Let's even go. Let's go 1080 since I'm not playing, or 720 since I'm not playing anything. That's 720. That looks terrible. Okay.
We still trying to find.
Yep, pretty sure that's Batman. So, you know, this is what I'm talking about with the symbolism, okay? And I'm going to go into further detail about it. I'm going to play RV True's video where he mentions the Batman and the black and white colors. There's also, like I said, an image of Summer Wales. Now I'm starting to talk like I'm from there. Summer Wales, that's what's going to happen if I keep watching those videos. Of her wearing a Batman pajama or shirt outfit. Sorry, I have to fix this again now. And this guy, I tell you what, he just gives me a bad vibe. I don't know why, but I don't like him. Well, I don't like him. I don't trust him. But then again, I don't trust anybody, so. Okay. I should just have this video on my save list because I'd make a good Southern girl. Well, thank you. I don't have the accent for it, but okay. So let's go to the. This isn't going to be a long live stream, so of course I say that all the time. Let's see. Wait, it's not. He looks like a cross between James Carville and the coroner from Randy Brooks. Who's James Carville? Should I know that? Or whatever you call that hoax? Yeah, Mandy Books. I don't know. Handy Nooks. I don't know. Alright. And if it plays, I'll just play the whole thing. I don't care. RV Truth isn't gonna get me for copyright, so. Look at the shoes. The shoes. The Nike shoes, not the shoes. Alright. This one is really good because it leads into, he talks about the white horse symbolism, and of course in the Watts case you have the Broncos, Nate Waring, and then you have Denver International Airport with the white Bronco. Okay, hold on. But I'm going to show you why, again, like I said, I'm going to show you, like, okay, get to it, Megan. I'm going to show you why I'm suspicious of the seeing multiple times now, more than once, the Batman symbolism in the Summer Wells case. And this is what people need to look out for, because they love, let me say it again, they love their symbolism. And they put it in plain sight. And if you know what to look for, these cases and these orchestrated events are very easy to spot for the most part. Almost to the point where it's ridiculous.
In DC at the Hill, one thing. This is something I've covered extensively when it comes to the so-called event in DC at the Hill. One thing I really have to emphasize to people that are searching for truth, if it gets spotlighted in the media, it's part of their script. It's not organic, every aspect of it. They're not going to.
And this is what I've been trying to say about these cases in true crime specifically, but also other ones, but in true crime, because that's where we are, is true crime. Specifically, these cases that get all this mainstream media attention, and a lot of it, like where every news station is talking about it, and they're pushing the same narrative. So listen to what RV says, because he's been doing this a lot longer than I have. But I want you guys to see this because it's important, because again, I know it sounds repetitive, but it shows that I'm not the only one that is talking about this symbolism and exposing these orchestrated events for what they really are.
Just fit it in, something they claim that's organic to go along with the news story. It's definitely part of it. And we're going to take a look here at, again, this news story from...
And he explains it much better than I do.
Daily Mail, which I call the Daily Fail. Let's scroll down here. And we all know Ash Lai. And I find it interesting. You have
Ash Lai, Ash Lee, Christopher Lee, Nicole Lee also is a Chinese, I put this in my video, Chinese variation of the word or the name Lee is L-E-E-L-I and L-I-E, and L-I-E is also the English word for lie. So they literally they're incorporating the word lie and Lee into the main characters that are involved in these orchestrated events. So again, Ash Lai, the woman, the officer that I just played that's covering the case on Summer Wells, Leslie. Is Leslie a very common female name? Yes. But when you keep seeing it over and over again in these cases that don't add up, and these mainstream cases that are getting all this mainstream media attention or public attention, that's when you need to start, looking at things from a different perspective and start noticing these patterns that they use over and over again. Because again, they put it in plain sight, and he's going to explain that again as well. But I just wanted to say that.
Of Ash Lai with her so-called husband, and they had a live-in girlfriend as well. But again, the symbolism, just take a look here at the left wrist, and you see this tattoo with the G on it. G for Freemasonry. And also take a look at this, the G sideways, and what do you see here? Actually, this is the crown symbolism, which has prominently been displayed with these recent news stories. And by the way, this doesn't even look like a real tattoo. Take a look here, a close look. It looks like he's wearing some type of sleeve, for this news story. It's just a prop, and you can see it looks like it's lifted here. You see where it's lighter color here, and there's a little bit of dark area underneath this sleeve. Nonetheless, whatever the case is, this is just another Easter egg in plain sight for those that have eyes to see. Right in the center here on the chest is the lion symbolism. Again, stated repeatedly, they're all about signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors in this lion symbolism, which I'll get into momentarily. But before doing that, I want to show a little bit.
Where did Shanann go? Where did she eat with her friends, at her Thrive friends, before she came back to Colorado when she was in Scottsdale, Arizona? She ate at the Thirsty Lion. The Thirsty Lion. Because they're admitting to us that the entire case is a lie. And this might sound very conspiratorial and ridiculous to some people, but I assure you it's not. It's what these people do. And they do it all the time to push agendas with these cases. And people really need to see what's going on, and they need to wake up. And I sound like a robot, but I just want to speak clearly because I know sometimes I can mumble. So.
A bit more. Here's Ash Lai, and you see the symbolism here, the obvious symbolism, dual symbolism here, clearly in plain sight, as they always do. Let's take a look. Repeatedly, they're all about signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors in this lion symbolism, which I'll get into momentarily. But before doing that, I want to show a little bit more. Here's Ash Lai.
33, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
And you see the symbolism here, the obvious symbolism, dual symbolism here, clearly in plain sight, as they always do. Let's take a look here at this one individual. This is supposedly Ashley's brother, Andrew, 21 years old, and the symbolism, again, always there. I stated repeatedly how they are using the white horse symbolism, and here you go again. And by the way, you have your...
What are the odds that the Watts case just happened to take place in Colorado, where we have the Denver Broncos with the white horse symbolism, and Shanann flew into Denver International Airport that has the huge white, the white horse, and Nate, and I think even Nick Thayer at one time is wearing a Broncos and orange and all the orange flowers, and it's ridiculous. So I even believe, from what I can see, is they're even admitting what they're going to do before, and they'll even admit what they did after the fact in the next orchestrated event. And I'll tell you what, and I said it in my video, I tell you what. I don't know why I sound like that. I only talk like that on my streams. I don't know why. Maybe I don't, or maybe I don't. Maybe I sound like that in real life. But now I'm fake too. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I do these late night streams, but now I don't remember where I was going with that. Had to do with the horse. I don't know. It'll come back to me.
Your space symbolism as well. They always have, again, their symbolism in plain sight, multiple purposes, but definitely the D as well. Of course, you get A, B, C, D. D is the fourth letter in the alphabet, and that's going to come into play a little bit more. But again, the white horse symbolism, which I've showed in video presentations repeatedly, and that's about the sign of the times. And here is the live-in girlfriend, Kayla, and here is the couple, and they co-own Fowler's Pool Service, and they have, again, more program. I voted like votes count. So it's always
like votes count. And that tattoo on his chest, it doesn't even look like it's been there for a freaking, that very long. It looks fake to me. Looks fake. No, I don't think everything's fake, but that looks fake to me.
Multiple things taking place within these news stories, and this is a huge aspect here. I mean, just before I point anything out, you're going to take this photo here at the beach. You're going to bring along two parrots in a cage with you, have one on the shoulder, one on the foot. But the big aspect, the larger aspect of this is, while people are focusing on her, the parrots, they don't see what's right in front of them. And that's the number 86. As you've been 86, you're gone. And that's, again, a huge aspect when it comes to these people running the show. And another huge aspect, I've covered this repeatedly with the whole Batman theme. We know about Freemasonry and the episode number 33 from Batman, where you had Bruce Wayne's grandfather.
Okay, here's what I'm talking about. RV Truth is talking about the black and yellow and the Batman symbolism that they use, and that's, when I see Batman symbolism, and not once, but twice so far, and I haven't even watched that much of the Summer Wells case. When I'm already seeing it twice in two different areas, one with behind the sheriff or whatever, and then Summer Wells, yes, can Batman be female and I guess male fans or whatever? Obviously, she's wearing a Batman and she's female. But when I see it more than once, when it keeps popping up, and I hear someone like RV Truth, who has, been doing this for many years, I'm gonna have a little bit different perspective and a different outlook, and I'm gonna keep my eyes open for more of this symbolism, because again, they put it in plain sight. It's mockery at its finest, but they also have to do the whole karma thing. If they tell us what they're doing and we're too stupid to realize it, then that's our own fault, and now they don't have any bad karma on their hands. And not to mention with the Watts case, like I said earlier, with Jeremy Lindstrom bringing up in that interview right around the year anniversary, of course, or the 2-year anniversary, that he was listening to Black and Yellow, and that made him break down. I don't know why that would make him break down. Steelers, Black and Yellow, all the Wasp references in the Watts case. so much black and yellow. It's insane.
Stated in that one episode that he was the founder of this one Masonic organization based in Yale. We all know what that is, but again, they always have their symbolism in the yellow and black. Just people need to look that up and what this correlates with which group as well. And again, I mentioned it earlier. Why have a side-by-side of the same individual? You know, obviously it's all about duality. And again, the D being the fourth letter in the alphabet, so you get your coded 44 as well in the dual horses. So again, everything that plays out in the media, it's not organic. They don't just pick up on things and cover things unless it's part of their script and they want to be played out that way. And that definitely gets back into the whole lion symbolism. We'll get back with the horse later on. I'll show some images regarding the horse symbolism, but definitely I want to spotlight what it comes down to is the lion symbolism as I showed here. And again, the lion and the G in plain sight. And while watching television programming over the years, of course we all know about Leo the Lion. And again, it's called television programming for a reason. There you see again Leo the Lion. And a very important aspect of Leo the Lion is the LL. Basically comes down to is 33. As you see here, the Pythagorean numerology chart. And again, always coded with these names. They love the CC initials and also the LL, just like LL Cool J, the singer. Now when it comes to, again, Freemasonry and of course symbolism, what this is all about, you take a look here, again, the square and compass and a line in the center. There's so much Masonic, lion, Freemasonry symbolism taking place. This is one aspect that really needs to be spotlighted. Of course, you have also the Lions Club, songs for the lions, and also lion sounds like lying, like someone's lying. And that's another aspect. And of course, the Lion's Paw, a story of Freemasonry. You also have this one grip. It's called the Lion's Paw, real grip of a master mason. And of course, the actual logo of the Lions Club International. And let's take a look here at more symbolism. Very important. I'm going to spotlight a few others. But one aspect I want to show as well, as I shown earlier with this symbolism, when it comes to masonry. Here you see Pat Robertson doing the lion's paw in front of the chest, and also Will Smith. And again, it's all about symbolism. People don't get the symbolism aspect when it comes to seeking truth. They're going to be lost. And again, Pat Robertson, and a very important aspect of Pat Robertson's, as you can see here, the 700 Club, and the show the imaginary ball earth. You have the gold and blue in Freemasonry numerology. Gold and blue is 33. And also, as you can see here, as I fit it in the screen, the 700 Club just happens to be 33 as well. So this is getting to foundational things about the matrix we're in, people that are part of it. And again, you know, all the symbolism is there. Basically what I'm getting at is they're controlling both sides of the matrix. The politicians, the churches, Hollywood, the music industry, and definitely, obviously, the news as well. Another aspect of this logo for the 700 Club is the C with the 3 flames within. So you have your coded 33 with the C and the 3 flames. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the gold and blue for 33. So your dual 33s in plain sight. And again, the 700 Club is 33. So basically 33 3 times. And we all know what that comes down to. We had 3 and 3 being 6, 6 and 6. And as I shown previously, Pat Robertson, while he's praying, his eyes are closed. Everybody else in the congregation with their eyes closed. He's mocking
How many times did we see Chris Watts doing that when he points? Like, who points like that? You know who else did that too? With their hands? Ronnie Watts during Chris Watts' confession, which I did point out in one of my videos.
Making the devil horn signs. Again, these are just a band of deceivers. They're all part of a club. And basically, again, the 700 Club is the 33 Club. And this is the devil's number. And definitely, again, with all that's happening on the world stage, they're telling us what's to come. Again, with the crown symbolism, as I've shown before, many video presentations, and obviously as well within the D itself, the white horse, you have the orange surrounding the white horse symbolism. Of course, you have orange for 33. So every aspect of these photos, obviously, it's played out to be this way. Again, if people don't understand signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors, they're going to be lost and falling for the lies of the Matrix. And just like all stories, there is an ending. And when it comes down to it, Ashley's supposed husband, he purchased this Fowler pool cleaning company. As you can see, a little bit of a close-up. Fowler Pool Services. And I found this quick clip very interesting that was shown in the media. Just take a listen to what is said here. And again, our news is coded, the printed material, and of course the actual video we see on the news telecast with the signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors. Take a listen.
After a rant about her political beliefs over the phone.
We started with Fowler Pool Service about 33 years ago.
So 33 years ago, again, this is where it's all leading.
33 years ago?
To the one world government.
The guy doesn't even look like he's 33 years old yet. Like, barely. Unless it was his father's company or something. But, of course, 33 years ago, what do you know?
And it's coded. Obviously, this is the UN logo with the crown symbolism, as we know. It's the wreath or the crown. And, of course, the flat earth model itself. And the 33 segments. This is where it all comes down to. Where all these nonsense news stories that get spotlighted, again, with the white horse and the one world government. And it's very obvious, you know, these people that are participating in these fake news stories, they have no clue what they're part of. And this is all part, again, setting the stage for the one world government headed by the UN.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, so, interesting, right? So now we're going to watch a video of mine. Yes, I'm going to play my own video on my own stream, if I can find it. I haven't had that many uploads, but I want to point out something that I found where they told us, because again, they tell us they tell us that what they're going to do next or in the future. So they will leave hints as to where or what they plan on doing. Just like I pointed out, there's several references to the virus with the Watts case that told us that whole pandemic was going to happen. And not only that, but I made a video, and in the video I pointed out where Shanann is holding the Thrive magazine, where she was featured in it, I guess, and it says time for a reset. And what have we heard for the past, or the past year? It's time for a reset. The great reset. Time for a reset. Like, this stuff is not coincidental, you guys. It is literally put there on purpose, in plain sight, straight up mockery. And it's what these people do. And it's what you need to look for. That way you are not duped any longer in the future. Because again, once you know about it, they're very, very easy to spot. Or fairly easy to spot. Hey, Ola. Or Heart Eyes, I should say. I'm so used to Ola. Okay. And I don't know what you mean. I saw a comment. Robbie said, Megan, you're so right on many playing fields, but this woman brought up with the facts that it seems so damn real. You'll have to explain further. Rob, I'm not sure what you're talking about or referring to. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a little bit different. DLive is a little bit different than YouTube, but once you get used to it, it's fairly easy. But I'm definitely not as censored over there as I am here, so. Oh, Bush got you to come out from the lurking bushes? Bush from the bushes? Okay. My video, right. So, again, why? Okay. Oh, TJ's? Okay, yeah, TJ's, yeah. She does great research, I'm not going to lie, about the case and the discovery. But again, probably more than likely, most of that discovery is based on a lie. Actually, 99% of it is probably based on a lie. Or all of it. Let's be real. So people, what's going on with the Watts case is people are literally breaking down that discovery, trying to find why there's so many inconsistencies, noticing the inconsistencies, noticing the discrepancies. They're going out through all this trouble to do that based off of something that's not even real. The discovery that they're going through is not even real. It's made up. It's fabricated. It's a story that they threw together and made it a homicide case. So everyone that's picking through the discovery, there's no point to it. It's never going to get solved. It was not meant to be solved. They knew that people were going to notice the discrepancies. Hey, Mark. And try to go through the discovery and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, knowing that people are never going to solve it. And here we are, almost 3 years later, and none of these other channel creators are anywhere near closer to solving what happened. It will never be solved. It was not meant to be solved. So they can do it until they are 90 years old. Nothing will ever come from this case because it was not meant to be that way. Plus, even if it were real, there's not enough information and there's too much missing to be able to solve it. There's too many, none of the videos have good quality in 2018. You can barely hear any of the sound on some of them. The sound quality is terrible. It would never be able to be used in court. So the fact that it was even released that way is ridiculous. Can you imagine being on the jury if there was a trial and listening to Nicole Kessinger's first interview at the park where you hear her dog barking and then her dad's mumbling and then the cop sounds like he has the recorder in his pocket. Everybody's, playing in the park. I mean, it's not realistic. It's so ridiculous. It would never be able to be used in court. Ever. If I was a juror, I'd be like, what is this shit? Like, give me something that I can actually understand. It's 2018, and you guys are giving me this crap to listen to. How am I supposed to do my job? I don't know if a juror's job, but how am I supposed to do what I'm supposed to do as a juror if I can barely even hear, and I hear a dog whining because he wants to go chase a frisbee? Whatever. Okay, what am I doing? My video. All right. You've been listening the last 33 minutes? That's very Masonic of you, Mark. Go figure. I knew you were. I knew it. I'm on DLive every single day, Rob. I stream every day on DLive. Not every day. I did take a couple days off last week, but for the most part, I stream every day anytime between 12 and 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So. I'm hoping this is the one. This is the last one I uploaded. Okay guys, so in part 1 I pointed out several electricity, energy, and power references found in this case. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend watching it. Now, if you've seen any of my videos or listened to any of my live streams, you will have most likely heard me mention that the majority of what they put in this case means something. The people that orchestrate these events will sometimes tell us what they are planning to do next. In my video titled Time for a Reset, I showed an image of Shanann holding the Thrive magazine that says Time for a Reset, telling us that this great reset we have been hearing so much about was already planned for us. I also made a video titled What's the Agenda, showing how they left us clues that the whole virus thing was also planned. Now let's continue with more of these electricity, power, and energy references in this case. Now, as I mentioned before, a lot of what they put in this case means something, and it is significant. Now it's important to remember that things can have more than one meaning. For example, in the discovery, Chris searched for prices on an Audi Q7. So you can assume that Chris is most likely interested in buying that specific vehicle, considering he is looking at prices on it. However, if you know how these people operate with their numerology, symbolism, and codes, then it more than likely represents something else. So, out of curiosity, I did an internet search for Q7. As expected, there were many results for an Audi Q7, but there was something else that came up in that search. This is the Amelia wind farm and another one of their breadcrumbs that led me to another energy reference with just a one-step search. The Amelia wind farm is an offshore wind farm in the Netherlands. So not only do we have another major reference to power, but I want to take a closer look at the name itself. But before I do that, I just want to go over how they've told us that this case is a lie. The people who orchestrate the Watts case told us that the whole thing is a lie. This is also the reason why there are so many people in this case who have the name Lee. I went over this extensively in my video, The Names in Their Game. There are different variations for the name Lee, such as L-E-E, L-I, and L-I-E. Now, L-I-E is also the English word for lie, meaning to deceive. So what they have done and are still doing is incorporating these 3 different name variations into these events. There are a couple examples that I forgot to mention in the original video I made pointing out the significance of all the people with the name Lee. Let's take a look at a clip of Chris's news interview.
Shanann went to... Where'd you get that shirt?
Oh, this is, I think she got it off Amazon, but this is my favorite college sports team.
Wasn't she just there?
She was, yeah, just in North Carolina, yep. So she actually probably got it from there. Usually she gets stuff from Amazon, but this one, I like these shirts a lot.
Shanann went to... Where'd you get that shirt? Shanann went to... Where'd you get that shirt? Wasn't she just there?
She was, yeah, just in North Carolina, yep. So she actually probably got it.
Why would the reporter start asking Chris a question, stop abruptly, and then change her question? And not only that, but how is knowing where he got his shirt from going to help find Shanann and the girls if they were missing? It doesn't, because it's insignificant where he got his shirt from. The reporter asked that question for a specific reason. So remember when RV Truth says about Ashley Babbitt? She spells it A-S-H-L-I. Just like when, see how Chris is pulling his shirt down, pointing directly to North Carolina. As I said, why would the reporter abruptly stop what she's saying when she's asking a question about Shanann and go, where'd you get that shirt? Like, why? Number one, who cares where the doofus got his shirt from? He probably got it from the NFL store or Amazon, like you said. But either way, who cares where he got his stupid shirt from? How is that supposed to help find his missing family? Because they're literally, and it's stuff like this that to look out for again. It's like, I remember watching this from the first time and going, that's so weird. Why would the reporter just stop what she was saying and switch up her question and ask where he got a stupid shirt from? At the time, I didn't realize it, why it was significant. Now I do, and now it's so clearly obvious and ridiculous. And look how he's like pulling his shirt down, pointing right to North Carolina. So again, I'm not the only one that's pointing out these breadcrumbs, as RV Truth calls them, or Easter eggs. I call them breadcrumbs. He calls them Easter eggs. And the symbolism in plain sight, because they love their names, colors, words, and numbers. And patterns. Patterns for sure. Which I always thought was an odd question, but wasn't sure why. Until I realized that they were essentially telling us that the entire thing is a lie. They wanted us to see that Chris is wearing his favorite North Carolina shirt. North Carolina. Now let's take a look at what Cindy Watts is wearing for her televised interview. As you can see, Cindy is wearing a North Carolina sweatshirt. Is this something that you would wear to a televised interview? I wouldn't. So either this family really loves North Carolina, or they are subliminally telling us that this entire thing is one big lie. When Shanann was on her Thrive trip, she went with friends to the Thirsty Lion. Thirsty Lion. Now there's a YouTube channel called RV Truth. He has been doing an excellent job at exposing these orchestrated events and how they incorporate their symbolism, numerology, gematria, and Easter eggs into these events. I'm going to show you a clip from one of his recent videos so that you can see that, one, I am not the only one who is noticing these things, and two, that they are doing the same thing in other events as well.
And we all know Ashley, and I find it interesting. You have Ashley with her so-called husband, and they had a live-in girlfriend as well. But again, the symbolism, just right in the center here, on the chest is the lion symbolism. Again, stated repeatedly, they're all about signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors. In this lion symbolism, which I'll get into momentarily, this is supposedly Ashley's brother, Andrew, 21 years old, and the symbolism.
Okay, you guys have already seen this.
I stated repeatedly
skip through this.
how they are used. Is 33, as you see here, the Pythagorean numerology chart. Again, always coded with these names. They love the CC initials and also the LL, just like LL.
They love the CC initials. Does CC sound familiar to you guys? Bella, Cece.
Cool J, the singer. Now, when it comes to, again, Freemasonry and, of course, symbolism, what this is all about, you take a look here, again, at the square and compass and a line in the center.
If you're not familiar with RV Truth's channel, please go check out his channel and subscribe. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Now let's take a closer look at the name of the wind farm, Amalia. Amalia, or Amalia. Right off the bat, you have that L-I in the name that both myself and RV Truth have pointed out, but there's more. Now let's take a look at a clip from Nick and Amanda Thayer's interview. The name Amalie is another variation of the name Amalia.
But yeah, so you're going through, you know, all these pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny because, like, if I didn't know, if I just saw this for the first time, I might think they're your kids.
Yeah, I mean, they did look a lot.
I find it funny what the reporter says right there. He goes, if I was in something something, I would have thought that Bella and Cece, he didn't say Bella and Cece, but he's referring to Bella and Cece, and he goes, I would think that they were your kids. I would not put it past them if Bella and Cece were really, if they are really married, Nick and Amanda Thayer's kids. Because again, they like to admit things in plain sight to us, and, you know, like, but again, that's might be pushing it. Again, I would not put it past them. Why? This was the day, same day in the park, of course, just like Nicole Kessinger's interview was in the park, Parkland shooting, Emily Parker, park. They love the word park, so keep out for parks. I'm surprised Summer Wells wasn't doing something in a park. Swimming pool is interesting too, but I won't go there. This is the day that they found out that Shanann and the girls were actually dead, and they excavated their bodies, right? Based off the official narrative. So what is Amanda Thayer laughing at? What is Nick Thayer laughing at? What is so funny? I don't like, and why would you give an interview the day of that you just found out that your alleged really good friends, or friend was murdered by your other really good friend, and their kids were murdered? They're saying they're sad, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the tears.
Not like Amelie. The blonde hair and just beautiful.
Did you remember that Nick and Amanda Thayer's daughter's name is Amalie? Spelled Amalie. Once again, we see the word lie. Something else that I found interesting, here's a website that talks about the company that built the wind farm called Connex. Because they're telling us it's all a con. We have been conned. In part 1, I mentioned that I believe the powers that be were telling us that they're using something called dew, or some type of energy against us. After seeing all the power, electricity, and energy references in the case, I told a few people that I believe that the major power outages were going to happen. There are others as well that believe the same thing, and here's why.
This is the same fellow who told you this is going to end by Easter last time. This is the same fellow who told you that, don't worry, we're going to end this by the summer. We're about to go into a dark winter. A dark winter.
Is promising a long, dark, painful winter. Did you see him at the debate?
I didn't put this in the video, but look how you'll see how the W in women is, and then on this, well, you can't see my arrow, or my mouse, but on the pink signs, it says women, but it actually says omen. You'll see here in a second. If you look up the definition of omen, it's very interesting and highly not, it's probably not coincidental and done on purpose.
Did anybody see the debate by any chance? No, he said long, dark winter. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
We remain in a very dark winter.
So last night we heard Joe Biden talk about the dark winter that he said is coming. And the president said he didn't believe that the winter would be dark. He said that the end is coming. He said that the end is coming. The end is coming to the virus.
Plan for a dark winter. Plan for a dark winter.
But the dark winter was not the only reason why I came to that conclusion. It was because all of the power and electricity references in the case. There was a major power outage in Pakistan on January 9th, and Pakistan was still without power on January 10th. It just so happens that the capital city of Pakistan is called the City of Lights. There again, you see the L-I in the name. There was another major power outage on January 10th in Texas. Shanann Watts' birthday is January 10th. Then there was the most recent power outage that froze all of the wind farms in Texas. Remember the wind farm that I just mentioned a little bit ago in this video?
Winter storms in Texas have left over 2 million people without power as their wind turbines are frozen solid. Former Texas Governor and Energy Secretary Rick Perry said this is the risk of green energy.
You need to have a diversity of energy sources no matter where you are. And it couldn't be a greater example of that in the state of Texas right now. We got massive amount of wind farms out in West Texas that are frozen up. All of that wind energy was lost.
Chris and Shanann stayed with their friends, the Dietz, while their house on Saratoga Trail was being built. If you search for 3040 Trinity Loop, Broomfield, Colorado, several real estate websites still have staged photos from when the Dietz allegedly lived there. Not only is the child's name on the wall an acronym for the word lie, but there is an image that shows a Texas wall hanging. Now, does this prove that the powers that be are responsible for what happened in Texas? No. But again, if you know how these people work, it's definitely something to keep in mind. These people are very powerful, no pun intended, and have the ability to make almost anything they want happen. Before I end this video, I want to show you something I just recently found. The following audio clip is from Chris's interview in Wisconsin. Okay, so this is what I was actually referring to, the specific part of the video, but I'm glad I played the whole thing. It's kind of difficult to hear because, of course, just like all the audio in this case, was purposely downgraded. So again, it's difficult to hear. I will, maybe I can turn on the, closed captioning, but that doesn't mean it's going to help.
The officers, saw what they saw. You mentioned that you took the ring off her finger. And then the book, did you throw that in the trash? Okay. There was another book, Body of Evidence. Does that sound familiar?
That you had in your cell.
A body of that, Patricia Cornwell?
Maybe. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Did in Weld County.
What was that about?
That was just one they gave me.
Who gave it to you?
The, deputies.
Not your attorneys, or?
You notice how, like, if you really listen to this, you guys, listen to how weird it sounds. Like, oh, so they gave you books at Weld County? Like, they're supposed to be there for a specific reason, and they're asking about what books he read in Weld County? Who cares? Who cares what stupid books he read at Weld County? Where he wasn't ever. Where he was supposedly on suicide watch. Like, and she's like, and Tammy Lee's like, tell me about it. Tell me about that book you read, Chris. Like, why did they give two shits about a book you read? Or they're there to I don't even remember what reason they said, to see how they can learn from, since everything got, closed so quickly and Chris got swept away in a patrol unit, that they didn't have time to really, figure everything out. So they want to see how they can learn from the mistakes they made or whatever, right? So this doesn't happen again. But they're asking him and leading the questions like, wasn't it this book or wasn't it that book? And tell us about it. Tell us about that book you read. It's very, like, it doesn't make sense. But once you know the truth about this case, it makes sense. But here is some predictive programming at its finest.
Oh, no, they couldn't give me books. Oh. No, any book that I had was given to me by their book cart that they had.
So you didn't ask for that book? Or?
No, they just kind of give me, like, hey, I read some Brad Thor books. He's like a military guy. And Patricia Cornwell, my grandma always read her books and thought it was, she loved those books. And I'm not sure if that was probably one of the first books, not the first book I read there, but probably the second book I read there. But it was like they gave me, here's 4 books, choose.
What other book did you read? Do you remember?
The first book they gave me when I was in suicide watch was, I don't know why, but Murder at something. And I was like, I looked at him and was like, that's the one we got. I'm like, okay. But,
They handed you that book by itself, no other choices?
Nah, the next book I got, another guy that was, I guess they're overcrowded there. A guy was sleeping on a cot outside my door. He's like, here, try this one. It was one that was based like in the 1800s. It's more of like a situational book, like a time period book. So that one's a little more calm. But that was the first book they gave me.
You don't remember what it was called? Murder at something?
We were at the Truman Center.
Truman Center?
Yeah, I think it was, never at the Kennedy Center. I think it was written by Margaret Truman.
Did you read it? Was it good?
It was decent.
Remember how I told you that many of the things they put in this case mean something? Well, I did an internet search for Margaret Truman, and something immediately caught my eye. Margaret Truman wrote a book called Murder on Capitol Hill. On January 6, 2021, alleged Trump rioters stormed Capitol Hill, which resulted in the death of 1 police officer and 4 rioters. They told us that the riot and the murders at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. were going to happen 2 years before it took place. It's time people start waking up to the lies of this orchestrated American horror story called the Watts case. Okay, so, just like RV Truth mentions about Ashley Babbitt, because that Capitol Hill, the murder, the rioting at the Capitol was orchestrated. And they told us, and it might sound crazy, but I assure you it's not, because that's what these people do. And you can just, again, if you go back and you really listen to this clip, look how they're really leading Chris. And like, oh, did you like it? Did you like the book? What was it called again? He even messes up his lines, and he says, oh, it was Murder at Truman Hill or something. He's like, oh, no, it was by Margaret Truman, and it was called Murder at the Capitol or something. And did you like it, Chris? It's like, it's so blatantly obvious once you know how these people work. Just like they told us with Shanann's Thrive magazine that I mentioned earlier, time for a reset, the Great Reset. There's the Bella and Cece are both wearing respirators in a Facebook picture. There's a clip there's a part in Chris's interview, not interrogation, but with Coder, where he says, I don't want to be that kind of family that walks around with masks on. What have we been having to wear, right? Not me, but what have we been having to wear for over a year now? Masks, because of the virus. Plain sight, symbolism, they tell us what they're going to do, that like, everything is, all these events are written out. Not all of them, but the majority, like he said, RV2 said, these, if it's in the mainstream media, I would consider it false until proven otherwise. But the ones that get this that are tragic and get all this mainstream media attention, they're pushing agendas with it and propaganda with it. And they literally tell us that they plan to do it before it even happens. And of course you have American Horror Story with the clip on Nate's television, the teaser from American Horror Story, where the woman in the shallow grave is wearing a gas mask, and the person next to them in the grave is wearing a fancy, face mask. It's plain sight, you guys. They're telling us this pandemic was going to happen, and I know. Again, how conspiratorial it sounds, but this is why I'm doing this. To show you guys that it's really not all that conspiratorial at all. Hey, Deb. And I hate to burst your bubble, Rob, but Shanann was 100% a part of this. Absolutely. Nobody's going to want to hear that. But again, I'm not here to sugarcoat things anymore. I can't do it. I won't do it. Can't, won't do it. Can't, won't. See that? The more I watch that Summer Wells case, I'm going to start talking like that. And I don't want to, because I'm not Southern. All your main characters are fully aware of what they were doing and a part of the orchestration. There's many reasons, or several reasons, why people would agree to do something like this. We just don't know. That's really not the important part. Why anybody would agree to fool millions of people, whether it be money, whether they were forced to do it, whether they were threatened. People are shitty. I've said that in pretty much all of my live streams, like the last, I don't know, few live streams, is people are shitty. I don't know what else to say about it, is that people are shitty, and that's putting it lightly. Your heroes, like your Nicole Atkinson, she's a part of it. She's a part of it, and I'm sure I'm gonna get shit for this, but what are you gonna do? Things are not always what they appear to be, and neither are people. Because again, people are shitty. Plain and simple. What would they get out of it? So many things. If I don't want to go over all that again, because I've gone over it so many times. And usually I don't mind. But if you watch or listen to actually some of my more recent videos, that question is a great question, and it gets brought up all the time. But there's many agendas as to why Shanann would agree to something like this, or anybody. The only people that are innocent in this case are Cece and Bella, because they're children. They would have no idea what they would be a part of, again, because they're children. So Shanann was the perfect choice. Her smile, her beauty, her personality drew people in, and that's what makes this case and PSYOP so successful. She did a superb job. I can't deny that. So yep, even Nate and even sweet dear old Betty was even a part of it as well. Your main players. And again, the fact that nobody's personal information in this case was protected, neighbors, friends, family, co-workers, nobody's personal information was protected. That's a huge red flag, and especially in a quadruple homicide case or narrative that we've been led to believe. That's just absurd. So, huge red flag. Yeah, right? He doesn't have a photographic Rain Man memory. He definitely doesn't have a 135, 140 IQ either. But again, here's the challenge. Here's the challenge that I mentioned my last couple of streams. I challenge anybody to give me one piece of information that we've been told about this case that can prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt that what we've been told is factual. So anything in this case, any bit of information from the discovery, prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt that it's factual. Everything in this case that we've been told is based off of hearsay. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how many times you watch that footage of Chris allegedly loading the bodies of his family into his truck. You can zoom in on it all you want. You can pick it apart. You can stare at it as long as you want. And you'll see anything that you want to, okay? That video footage the quality is so terrible as it is. So when you zoom in on it, it's going to make it 10 times worse. And again, I have a video camera like that, security camera, especially when it's, at night. The little slightest bit of movement or wind or anything will make it pixelate, and it will make shadows that aren't really shadows, that aren't supposed to be there. So again, you can, if you stare at something long enough, you're going to see whatever the hell you want to see. You're going to see a unicorn with a cat riding on it. And I'm not trying to make fun of anyone, but I'm just saying that the fact of the matter is that quality video is so terrible. Again, you're going to see whatever you want to believe is there. And especially if there's a creator who's very good at a well speaker, and people believe what they say, and if they say it enough, people are going to believe it. If they say that it's Nicole Kessinger coming out of the garage, people don't think for themselves. A lot of people don't think for themselves anymore. I see it every day in the true crime community. They'll literally say, "Oh yeah, I see it," when clearly there's nothing there, and that's the wrong word to use, because clearly it's not clear at all. It's just blurred. It's just a blur. And again, those type of security cameras are not the best, especially when the video quality is downgraded. You cannot see anything on that video footage. I mean, I've seen people saying that Ronnie was in the bushes. I've seen people say that Nicole Kessinger was in the bushes. I've seen people say that Shanann was in the truck in the front seat. I've heard people say that Nicole Kessinger was in the front seat. I've heard people say that I've heard and I've heard so many, and I've seen people try to point it out, and there's nothing there. Again, you can break that video down until the cows come home. It doesn't prove anything, number one. And you can say this is this person, or that there's a person there, but who's the person? Who are all these people? At one point, there's one creator that said that there was like 6 people, 6 accomplices involved in this murder, but they couldn't name a single one of them. You know, it's like, it's getting nowhere. And Michelle, are you having to approve like Scotty's messages and Rob's messages? It seems like for some reason Scotty and Rob's, I have to approve like every single one, and they're not even saying anything bad. It's kind of annoying. And the shadows thing, that shadow could be anything. It could, hey Octavia, it could be anyone. Like, and people, there was someone in a chat, and I mentioned this before, but they were arguing with me saying it was definitely one of the girls. And I said, okay, if it was definitely one of the girls, then which one was it? Because clearly you saw them, right? You saw that it was, you know for 100% fact that it was one of the girls that he picked up. Are you just saying that because that's what you're being told and that's what you assume? Based off of the narrative, because that's the only people that were left in the house? Or can you actually physically see with your eyeballs Chris pick up either Bella or Cece? And they said, it doesn't matter. I know what I saw. And I go, yeah, it does matter. Because if you can't tell me which one of the girls it was, then that shadow could be anything. It could have been put in that video footage later. Like, things can be so easily edited, and I don't think people, I don't know how people can't grasp that. Like, especially with technology these days, any video footage can be edited. Any image can be edited. You can add whatever you want in there. You can make a ghost appear. You can make whoever you want. Name your favorite celebrity. You can make them appear in that footage. And again, if you have someone that's convincing and you say, this is what I see, and even though they say, oh, in my opinion, people are still going to believe it, even though that channel creator says, in my opinion. If anybody says that they can see Chris dragging a body or putting any bodies into that truck, they're in denial, because you cannot see anything on that video footage. Nothing. And it was done that way on purpose. But that's how they got so many people to believe the narrative, because the mainstream media and law enforcement beat it into our heads that that's what was going on in that video footage, in Nate's security footage. Is that it was Chris Watts After he murdered his family, he drags the bodies out and puts them into his truck. But we don't physically see that. We don't actually see him draw any bodies. We see him walking backwards. He could be doing some sort of Christopher Watts dance that he came up with. Who knows? It doesn't, yes, does it look like he's dragging a body? But that's what it just looks like. We don't actually see any bodies on that footage. There's no bodies on that footage. But people just believe it because that's what they're being told. And because it does appear that way. So again, are people do they really see bodies being loaded into that truck? Or are they just believing it because, again, that's what they were told by the mainstream media and law enforcement? Things can be so easily, deceiving. I'm sure there's some sort of psychological term for it, but I don't know. I haven't been able to figure that out yet. But that's the only way I can describe it. Is it? Are you really seeing that, or is it just because that's what in your head? That's what you're being told, over and over again. By who? The mainstream media, who nobody should ever believe, and by law enforcement. Why? Because they're a higher authority, or because they would never lie to us? Well, I'm here to tell you that they will, and they do, and they're going to keep doing it because they can legally do it. And I wouldn't doubt it, Nuck and Futz. They actually reuse crisis actors. I could be going crazy, but I swear I've seen Don Wells, Candace Wells, or not Candace Wells, but Summer Wells' father. He looks so freaking familiar. But I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, exactly, Spacebound. You can't see anything on that footage, but again, they know that the majority of people are going to see that footage, and because it's on video footage, and that's what they're being told, they're just automatically going to believe it without ever asking any questions. Dead weight is extremely difficult to lift. It doesn't matter how much weight you lift or how strong you are. It's not about the weight. It's the fact of it being balanced and centered. And when you have a lifeless body, the weight is not, centered. It's not balanced. And I was gonna say centerly, but that's not a word, I don't think. But it's not the weight of balance is not distributed evenly. There we go. So it would be compared to, what would be easier to pick up? A same weight, a box of potatoes, or a crate of potatoes, or a bag of potatoes, like loose potatoes, where the potatoes are falling all over the place and flopping all over the place. The crate of potatoes are the same weight, are going to be easier to lift because all the weight is distributed evenly. Does that make sense? And especially if you're lifting up dead weight from the ground. Now, if it's elevated already, he could have put Shanann over his shoulders or something. But obviously, we don't see that. He would have had to drag her out and lift her and use all that strength from the ground up. And it would be nearly impossible, and especially to move her all those distances. Hey, 1 hour. How long have I been on? Okay, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Gosh, time flies when you're rambling and you're playing your own videos and other people's videos. So again, I don't want to be repetitive every time I do these live streams, and I know I don't really come prepared, but again, it's not like I have anything to prepare. And even when I've prepared live streams and I have a whole presentation, I don't get the views, and I don't want it to make it seem like it's not worth it, but it takes so much time. And to not receive the amount of views for the time that it takes, it can be discouraging, and two, again, it just takes a lot of time. So I don't want to sound repetitive, but again, I don't have really I'm not going to have any damning, if like more symbolism and stuff comes out that I notice, or obviously with these new cases with Summer Wells, it's too early, but I refuse to spend day after day watching all this stuff that's going on with Summer Wells, because again, it's too early to say if it's 100% orchestrated, but it's more than likely orchestrated, because it's just getting way too much attention. There's so many red flags, symbolism in the names, and with the teddy bear, with the Batman, and it's just there's no sadness coming from anybody, the parents, the school teacher, nobody. There's no tears, and shit's just not adding up. So, again, unless I have some sort of like damning news, it's going to sound repetitive, because I'm going to keep showing you guys what I've learned over the years and why I'm able to spot these orchestrated events for what they are, because I listen to people like RV Truth and Ole Damengard, and watch their videos over and over again, and their new footage, or their new videos, and their content. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys and show you guys, so that you don't have to be deceived anymore. Because who wants to be deceived? I don't. I'd rather be aware of it and, say shame on them. Fool me once, but that's it, But if you guys have any suggestions of what you want me to cover in the Watts case or anything else, let me know, now or in the comments section, and I'll try to go over whatever it is you want me to go over. Anything that you're confused about as far as my theory goes, and if I'm not being clear about what I'm saying, I have tried to be more transparent, obviously, because again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. If they want to flag me, if they want to give me a strike, then so be it. But I'm not going to reword everything and speak in code to you guys anymore. I can't do it. It's exhausting, and it only confuses people. So, while I still have a channel and why it's still, why it is small, let's use it to our advantage, and let's not sugarcoat things anymore. So, again, if you guys do have anything that you're confused about as far as my theory goes about the case, please let me know, and I will check the comment section and the chat replays. So, thank you again, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it. I know this was late again. I just do them at random whenever I can. So, I am on D Live, like I said earlier, pretty much every single day from anywhere between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. It's usually around 2, but to be safe, 12 and 3 Mountain Standard Time. So, I don't always cover Watts. I cover a lot of different conspiracy videos and truth videos, and play other truth channel content creators videos. Like the last 2 days, or not today, but the 2 days before that, I played part 1 and part 2, a video documentary called The Conspiracy of Everything, and they covered everything from Pizzagate to QAnon, you name it. So, I highly recommend you follow me on DLive. It is a little bit different, but once you get used to it, it's a good community, good people. So, again, I highly recommend it. And if you ever do have any questions, just drop them in the chat. You can comment in the live chat anytime, whether I am live or not. So, And if Scotty's there, Scotty's usually there in my chats when he can be. And so is Hard Eyes. And Michelle as well. And if you have any questions as far as DLive goes, I'm sure they will be more than happy to help you out if I'm not there. So, yes, and I do want to still do a live stream. Michelle does. Drop your link again, please, Michelle, before I forget, before I end it. Please check out Michelle's channel. She does live streams on a lot of the same stuff that I do, and, you know, government corruption and what have you. So, and please check out Melissa Jade. I don't think she's here, but Melissa Jade is doing a great job covering conspiracy theories like Flat Earth and adrenochrome and, again, you name it, the moon landing. So I'm always happy to see when she goes live, and I'm usually in her chat. So that being said, I'm rambling. Again, thank you everyone for being here. I will drop my DLive link in the chat as soon as I end this. And I'll see you guys next time. And please, please, please remember to think for yourself. It's so important. And ask questions. And if you're being timed out or you're being blocked for simply asking relevant questions, then that will pretty much give you your answer if people don't want to answer your questions. So again, please think for yourself and remember that things can be very deceiving, and ask questions. Okay, goodbye.